So this is the first playthrough of my game. And this is Airlock. This is the first trailer that I've worked on. This part was all done in Unreal with a load of packs. This is to tell the story of what happened. It was a sonic boom, and this is what kind of destroyed civilization. Just gonna skip that bit. So I'll brighten this up. It should be okay as it is. And this is the main menu. I still need to set up the settings, so the settings isn't working at the moment, but that will be working today. We have the demo, and we have our hints and tips, which I will add more hints and tips as well. But it's just stuff like the radio room and how you can use the radio to find survivors on the surface, and how you can go about building your airlock and adding all the modules together to have a base, as well as the generator and the power supply that it gives to the environment and to all of the modules. If you have too many modules, the power will die, and it's the same with water as well. Everything uses power, water to keep you alive. Sustainability as well as greenhouses. So underground you can grow vegetables, fruit, and this will give you health, stamina, and morale boost throughout the environment and throughout your airlock as well. I may need to make my loading screen just a little bit longer.
Hey, how are you doing?
So this is the first look, and when you start, you already have a mission toggled, which is the airlock. Search for the airlock, and then we have here, welcome to the playable demo. Thank you, firstly, for downloading the playable demo and putting some interest into it. The build is a work in progress, and it is made to show the game's core systems, the atmosphere, and the direction. Some of the features are incomplete, and you will encounter bugs. Not may, you will encounter bugs. There's not too much placeholder content, but there will be some placeholder content. The environment is relatively dead at the moment in terms of life. Like, you have the NPCs and you have Marv here, your trusty companion, that will follow you around and help you find loot. The caveat to that is none of the foliage is swaying in the wind and there's no birds flying around at the moment, but that's something I'll move to. So thank you for playing and helping shape the future of Airlock. Controls. So WASD is to move. I couldn't put a single button for WASD, so I will make another button and that will go there. You have shift for walk and jog, X is to sprint, space is to jump, control is crouch, E is interact, right click to aim, left click to fire, Q is to command Marvel, I don't know why that's not showing, G is to drop, tab is for your missions, I is for your inventory, and M is for your map. Equip a weapon from your inventory to defend yourself. So first thing I can do is press I, come to my inventory, and I can see all of the different inventory pieces here. This is to help build modules. So you do start with some loot, and then of course your carbine as well. So we equip that, and now you can see here on the bottom right we have the carbine selected. So again, one thing that it said was you can hold Q to command the dog. So you can tell him to sit down and he will sit. You can tell him to roam and he should start just looking around, seeing what's there. He won't go too far from you, but he will give you a little bit of space. So as we start making our way towards the airlock, you'll see that Marv will actually follow us. And you can see on the minimap as well that Mara is following us as well. So the idea of Airlock is there's two games in one, right? So the surface is overgrown, taken back by nature after humanity went to hide underground. So a lot of the buildings you will see, like there's floating foliage because the data level streaming isn't, but basically what that is that's foliage on top of buildings. So there's buildings with foliage on, and you'll have more ivy and overgrown derilism as you get further into the world as well. As I get more time to develop it as well, because I'm developing this myself. So you can see here, basically what happens is people went underground to hide. They hid in these airlocks, and they created their own airlocks if they couldn't. So they would create these airlocks wherever they could find them, however they could find them. So here, for example, this airlock that we're walking to at the moment is actually inside of a bank or a building. So you'll have like areas where the building has been knocked out, and then inside is an airlock. As you approach, your flashlight turns on. It shouldn't turn on at this point, but at the moment it does. It's because of the trigger area of the airlock. So when an NPC crosses the threshold of the airlock, they become a settler. And that's something I'm still trying to work on the bounding box of, so bringing it lower. It says here, you found an airlock. There are many across the world, but this is the one that we'll focus on for now. Airlocks are humanity's last shelter. When the Sonic War hit, people fled below into airlocks already built or dug new ones to escape the surface. So here is our first look at an airlock. So as we approach the airlock, you can see that there's no light. It's already open. It's just a dead airlock that nobody is even in anymore. So I'm going to press F and turn my flashlight on. And then I'm going to enter the airlock. So you can see here, basically what it is it's built out. So a lot of these buildings, a lot of these buildings would have had rubble. And it's been dug away. Mara's box are quite too many at the moment, so I do apologize for that. But you can see here, basically this is an airlock. Oh. So here it wants me to fuel a generator, so I'll grab one of the jerry cans. I'll take it over to the generator, and I'll go ahead and pour the fuel into the generator. Now that I've done that, you can see here the fuel is on 25 liters, so I can turn the generator on. And here, Mara will now have a task above her head. So settlers will also have tasks that they can give you, or personal missions. So you can approach her and talk to her and find out what the task is. Some missions are gated, so depending on your decisions, so everything is story-driven and decision-driven. So depending on the decision you make, depends on what mission you will get. So you can end up doing the wrong decision, get a different mission, and go a completely different route. So now the generator is on. I can turn my flashlight off, and you can see now we have some power. So the power is flickering, and that is because we will have modules in. So I'm going to press tab just real quick to see what modules we already have. So here, when I go over to my building tab, it will say here, build mode is its own beast. From here, you switch to a dollhouse view where you add, remove, or move modules. Placing a module drains power, so build the right thing at the right time. Some of the modules are free, others stay locked until you rescue a settler with the right skills. So I've dismissed that, and now we can see here. So here is our dollhouse view. This is the view of what we see when we look underground, when we look at our airlock. So this is our airlock entrance, and then we can come down underneath and we can scroll in and we can see our settler walking around. Mara already has a mission for us, so we can look at that. One thing that we can do is in our settings under gameplay, we have here the camera yaw and tilt. So right now it sets 90. I'm going to change that to, let's do 60. I'm going to apply this. When I go back to building, you can see my yaw changes. So first of all, let me go back to here for my yaw, put that back to minus 90, and I want the tilt to just be lower. So I'm going to put the tilt to 10. That's going to allow me to look closer on to my module. So here again, I can see Mara walking around. The lights are flickering because of my power consumption. You can see here the power consumption, which is definitely wrong because that's not my power consumption. In fact, if I go over to my board here, I can see what my power consumption is. Let me just run over here. So here is my power consumption. It is 5,995 out of 6,200 watts. Okay, so here, let me go back to the airlock, back to the building mode, and you can see here. So our generator works. This one is broken at the moment, but our generator works. So this generator will power the room. You can see here, like if I select a module, it will tell you how much power it generates. I actually reduced the power of this by about 200. More is thirsty, build a water room. So as you can see, like there's thirst, there's hunger, there's starvation, there's morale, all built in. So depending on what you build, depends on how your settlers find it and if they're happy with you or if they're not happy with you. So we have here the operations room, and this is going to be our next mission. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Mara, where she has this mission for me, and I'm going to press E and talk to her. I caught something on the radio just now, a voice out past the old rail yards. Someone is still out there. Go and find them. I'll go check the radio. Good. Whoever they are, that don't have long. Watch yourself. So here now I have a mission to go and investigate the radio noise, and from here I can find settlers on the surface. So when I pressed tab earlier on, you can see that I have my settlers, and there's an exclamation mark here, right? So I have Mara available, but I now also have a settler, which I don't have yet. So you can see here, everything, pardon me, everything is still gated. So right now, my other settler that I'm going to rescue is gated. So here it says this is the rescuable tab. Survivors you find on the surface will appear here. Trackers will help you find more survivors, so keep an eye out for James. James is a tracker, so rescuing him opens up more rescues. Select a survivor to accept the mission. So I'm going to dismiss this, and I'm going to dismiss this. So again, when I go to the radio, once the radio is active, now you can see that James is available. There is an issue with the UI not updating. That will be a fix that I put in today as well, so don't worry too much about that. But again, this is the operations room, and it's where you find the settlers. And settlers are the heart of the airlock. They grow food, raise animals, maintain power, restock ammo, and more. Think of the airlock as an underground city. So let's go ahead and close that hint. And here we have our first rescuable settler, and you can see here as well. So this will tell you when there is a settler. There is also missions up here. The lights went out is a mission that is turns on every time the generator dies, but for some reason it's active at the moment, so we'll ignore that for now. But here we will accept the rescue, and we will go and rescue him. So I'm going to jog upstairs, head outside of the airlock. And here we go. I'm going to investigate the distress signal. So I'm going to pull out my gun. So I press 1 to pull it out. And let's see the best way to head around here. As I get close enough, the settler will become visible. And my dog will growl and attack them. Rescuing James. Recruiting him. You survived, and so did James. Approach him and offer him a place in your airlock. He'll decide based on a few things whether you have room. If he accepts, send him alone or have him follow you while you head back to the safety of your airlock past any stray altered. Okay, so here we have James, and I'm going to go and talk to James, and I'm going to tell him you actually came. Most people here that mini altered and they just keep walking, and you pegged for a ghost. You're safe now, come with me. Head to the airlock and I'll cover you. Who are you? We have more. What are you doing out here? And this is something I need to fix, is the wraparound text. So there's the conversation. Okay, come home with me. And he's accepted me. So now I can head home. And for some reason, at the moment, they will hit a rock and stop. So this is something I need to fix. I'm going to tell him, hey, head to the airlock. That means that now he will run to the airlock on his own. You can see on the minimap as well, him running to the airlock. The moment he crosses that threshold, he becomes part of my roster. Here we go. So James is now inside of the airlock. You can see a little bit of light flickering down there, and I gained some XP and persuasion. Okay, so now that I have another settler, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk to him, because he already has a mission for me anyway. So I'm going to go and speak to him. You have an operations room sitting idle. Put me on it. I can read the signal. And now here, settler assignment. So this is the settlers page, and here you can assign settlers to work in your modules. Each brings bonus XP for the job they suit. Assign James to the operations room. So I will select James. I will assign him to the operations room and click assign. Mission complete, and now I have some new missions available. So I'll go ahead and press E. I'm going to ignore that because there's a gate at the moment where I keep messaging people. And now the next one that we have,
you all right?
Is the rescues. So we should have a new rescue now. We go to settlers. We can now see that we have two settlers in our roster. We have James and we have Mara. So James is a tracker, Mara is a medic, which means that she will eventually need a medic module, which we can add. But as things get heavier, you can see here we now have a mission. So the mission here is somewhere to sleep. So here is, there's nowhere proper to sleep. Build a bunk room and a storage room. So I'll accept that. And now I go into my buildings. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build a bunk room and a storage room. So I can either build them across the floor, or what I can do is build the bunk room above the operations room. And I'm also going to build my storage over here. Boom. Mission complete. New mission available. Okay. So now you can see, now that I've built new modules, these modules will become available. So you can see now I have a stairway and I can go upstairs to this other module. And this is the bunk room, so this is where you will sleep and other setters will sleep. So depending on the module itself, we'll have individual modules or a single module. I will do a noise gate so that the radio from downstairs won't be so loud up here. But you can see we have a bunk room there. So now when it gets to 8 o'clock at night, the settlers will go to the bunk room and they will sleep. So we have our day and our timer up on the top right. That's the real day and time for the game. And the way that it works is that settlers will work in the airlock between 9 to 5. And anytime after that, they will actually go to their respective areas. They'll either go to a living space or a workspace or wherever. There's nothing in here. And it's also a door, not a drawer, but... So these are the modules. And again, we have quite a few modules here. We have 13, I believe, by default. Some of them are locked until you can unlock them from other people. The icons are missing, but I already have the icons, so I can re-upload those. And we have other settlers that are also rescuable now as well. So this is a veteran, so Finbar. So we can go to the missions tab, the operations room, and we can select him. We can also look here and see, again, we can see this one here as well, which is the generator overload. So this mission is the mission that I'm currently working on and trying to reconfigure, because it's about the breaker being tripped, which it's not. So your power is running short. Every module places a draw. The core loop here, that's the core loop, SQ. Explore, rescue, recruit, assign, build, manage power. You've seen it all. Thanks for playing the demo. Airlock is on its way. So here, I can go ahead and I can investigate the generator, and what I should be investigating is this generator here. I cannot fix it, it needs an engineer. There should be a wrench somewhere on the ground. There we go. And I should be able to fix this. Nope, okay, I cannot fix this. So in order to get more power, I need to rescue a different settler from the surface that can fix this. And when we fix that, we will then have our power go from what it is, 6,200, to double that. So that's where we will be. That's a short little introduction into Airlock. That's how it works. Hopefully it's been helpful, and I would love for people to play test this and let me know how they feel about it and what it's like to play. I would really like to just get some more feedback on things that could be better and things that could be more fun and improved. Thank you.